not said this before, but sometimes ago, I was, when we were still very young, I went to fix my nails somewhere then. So, the woman the nail tech was not like, do you think you should meet somebody, there's this affair and all of that. Then it's been long.
Yeah.
So I now went to see that man, and that man now said that. And then I think I was around 27 or so. It's been long. Then he now said, when you clock 30 or something, that there's something that will kill you or something. The gen was on. I said, let me go and put off the gen around 1:30 to 2. Normally now you can step out and put off your gen and come back in.
Yeah.
When I was about to step out, something told me not to step out. I said, is it today that something I used to even go out?
You're used to.
You understand now? What is the big deal? My compound. I just step out. While I was coming back, I felt as if someone poured me cold water. As if someone poured me something. I just put off the gen. I just said, I cover myself with the blood of Jesus. What is this? Thick darkness that you can literally want to cut through. I'm talking about thick darkness. Nothing, it was so dark. And then I felt a grip on my shoulder and another one on my shoulder. I can't see anything, but the road is so bad. Like all these untiled road. Is when they're having so as my face was on the floor like this, they held me. It was like bone. I'm still like, I've not even given my life to Jesus. I just used to go to that prayer. I'll just go there, pray. Whenever I pray, business will boom. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want to go back.
Yeah.
So I like to go. Apart from, I don't know what it's doing, but I know that my business, the way my business, and then I won't dream about that particular dream for some time. So at least it's, when you have this thing that you keep on dreaming about something and you don't even understand. So at my church, my main church, then my former church is not a spiritual. You don't pray too much.
They also talked about acts of service.
Yes.
What did that mean to you?
Meaning that it's not just to go to church. Some people used to say, you don't need a building. You can worship God in your house. It's not real low.
That thought.
Our act of service is so important to God. Like, we are being created to serve Him, not just you being in your house and worshiping God.
Because you hold someone, you hold someone in your heart for an offense they probably have also done. Doesn't necessarily mean that the person will not be blessed in their own life. Because sometimes we don't know that we say we now become evil, like we said earlier. Because now you're holding the person. You now don't turn to the Ogbanje. You are now the oracle.
The one.
So you now see the person now making progress. Now, God, why? Wow. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, wherever it is you're watching from. How on a day? Hope everybody is doing fantastic. Want to say welcome to Say My Peace, the podcast, with my humble self, Michael, aka Ogbolo, Nasabi me, and Oskof. I'm not here alone. I'm doing this with my, the correct babe, where they stress me sometimes. You understand? The intellectual, you get me? And every Lolo one of the entire world, multicolored thing today, looking very
I dressed for the occasion because I have to say my piece. Welcome. Thank you so much for all your interactions on all our videos. We really appreciate it. But, we are like Oliver Twist. We always ask for more. Please continue to share, like, comment. Sometimes we have a lot of topics that you might not agree with, but you hold your opinion. And we're a safe zone. Just spit what you want to spit, but be respectful so that everybody can have their say. My name is Lolo One. Of course, I'm happy to be here with my driver, my brother who cares about me. He drives me when he can.
Let's break down the driving because some of the video will think about that. See, I'm an actual driver. Like I did drive for moto.
And he didn't start this year. Ogulo has actually been driving me for years.
For years, actually.
More than we've known each other for like 20-something years.
Hey,
is it up to? No, it's not like 20. 18 or 15.
Let's say since 2012.
Yeah.
About 2012 or so.
We were still on Wazobia together.
Yeah. That time I still be intern.
Oh, yes. It was a baby. I was breastfeeding in part-time.
But I've done be old man since that time. Yes, now like my late 20s, early 30s or so.
But look, you look young, so we used to
no, that one day. I will come to the office after work, just carry you for motor. Lolo say, please, can you drive me outside?
You see why you making me look so begging?
And because you've been begging me since that time. I see they beg me till today.
Normally,
like after this one now.
You cannot shame the shameless. I hate driving. Give me.
But that time, you know, say we dey do one thing. When on this third Miller bridge, we feature this side express. We can't dance for motor. Big. People go there for bus because
they look bad.
people say no be weakness na problem.
We had fun.
Okay, guys. So today we have a special guest. The guest for today has a special story. Okay, today no be big. Today we are taking it, into another level. It gets spiritual things. Some people believe say spirituality no day. Some people they just carry in mind say, But today we are going that way. She has a special story, and she's here to say her piece. You understand? And we've been friends for some years now. I've known her for over at least more than 2 years, 3 years. And but she has this amazing story that she wants to share with all of us today. And I believe that at the end of the whole level today, 1 or 2 persons who are watching, who have joined us today, you will definitely readjust your mindset in some certain areas. But we're going to be discussing about forgiveness today as well. Forgiveness, unforgiveness, keeping malice, and all of that. It's a big issue, actually. But we're taking it to the spiritual side. And of course, we can't come back into natural. Conti can take talk 1 or 2.
Are you trying to accuse me?
No, I know say you get people plenty where you get for mind. So today there will be deliverance on you.
That was why I didn't come early.
It did happen. But
because I was avoiding. I wanted to come here and say, Lola, we just wrapped. I said, thank God. I'll now carry my unforgiveness bag. They go.
Yeah, but the issue of unforgiveness and forgiveness, what do you have to say about it first before we even start?
Unforgiveness for me is very delicate. Because most of the time, we think that the person that we're holding is the one that is getting hurt. Never is. You are the one that lives with unforgiveness because you are the one that particular issue lies in your heart.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, it's like poison. You will never... every time you think about it, it pours... It's like, when you have sepsis, something that is seeping through your system. You might not even know it's there. And it knows how to cause a lot of havoc in your life.
It's like cancer.
I'm telling you.
You just be spreading inside you. Yeah. And it comes to different things.
Oh, God.
Resentment, malice, and all of that.
Envy, jealousy.
Yeah.
Nothing exists in isolation.
Self-righteousness too. Because along the line...
say you better pass everybody.
Yeah.
I remember one of my ex, I used to say, God, I don't want him to breathe. I don't want him to have anything in life. Until one day I saw him prospering in life. I had to sit myself down and say, Lolo.
Yeah, you can't be
keep
here.
doing like this.
Exactly.
Because where you left him at that time, he probably is no longer there.
Yes.
He probably has moved on
and
asked for repentance and
God has forgiven
some
him.
kind of restitution.
Yeah.
And his life is moving on.
Yeah.
But you cannot just continue to hold him. You are the one that dies eventually.
Because at that point, you now become evil.
Of course.
Because that thing you hold, it's like witchcraft. Now you can't do there,
And that is the fundamental issue of why abusers become abused. Why the abused become abusers.
Yes.
Because many of us always think that some emotions that we have, as long as you overcome it. No. Some of those emotions that affect you negatively become a stronghold in your life.
Exactly.
If you are not careful.
Yeah.
So we need to extract our life from time to time.
All right, guys. So let me take this time now, based on that introduction, based on that small thing we'll just drop, let me take my time to now introduce my guest, okay? She's a spiritual woman. You get? She's a fashion designer, but most importantly, she's a daughter of the Most High. You get? That one, spirituality, more put them above every other thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have with us here today, ENIOLA OLUYEMI. You are welcome.
Thank you.
This is why they form humility status.
I mean shyness.
Shyness.
And as tease is on point with all our spirituality.
ENIOLA is she's very deep with spiritual things. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So just quickly do a brief introduction of yourself, and then we'll jump into the main.
Okay, I'm ENIOLA OLUYEMI. I'm a designer. Just like you said. I don't joke with spirituality.
What do you design? What kind of designs?
I'm into mostly couture dresses, wedding gown, reception
kidding?
dresses. Yes. reception dress.
And when you chop
I see. Not any.
so you are in the Vicky James kind of line. You're the one that consent to you. She's the one that made this dress. This is how
You don't go breathe where.
for real. All your life is elevated. She makes you look heavenward.
Now your voice will change. Hi, how are you? How's everybody? Because they don't tie your belly. So when they really say, how are you?
Wow,
Eniola,
that's
you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I
So,
should be dresses and the likes.
okay, I should be dresses and the likes. At least for you do for men. Yeah, you, of course. You make fun.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now, Eniola, I know I've heard your story, and Eniola had a particular experience in life at some point, and it was a case of it was a death experience basically, and now this is for everyone who does not believe in spirituality. People don't believe in life after death, heaven or hell, and all of that. Now, this episode today is for the likes of you, and even for those who also believe, for you to see the authenticity of it. All right. So,
and even for you that do not believe, it is some people's reality.
Yeah.
Because whether we like it or not, there are people that do not believe what you believe.
Yeah.
That does not negate their experience.
Yes.
You can form your opinion because
Yeah.
there are people that are atheists and they have every right to be who they are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is for different genres. So there are many things I have heard in the past that I've questioned. Okay, how did this person, they'll tell me a monk lives somewhere. He has not eaten for 35 years. Everybody has a right to question.
Based on their
whatever.
own experiences.
So please, whatever you hear today, take it with an openness of mind and make your deductions as you deem fit.
It fits. So Eniola had a death experience. She basically died, went to the other side, and then came back to us. So that is where I will leave it. She will do the rest of the story herself. All right. So Eniola, so let's delve into the whole thing now. I know I've seen the interview you had some time back regarding, but then for the sake of this particular platform, can you recount your experience that night when everything happened and all of that? Let's just flow it through it
And
into it.
for me particularly, I like to follow because I'm a storyteller. Before that day, we want to know what led up to that. Because sometimes if people don't know the backstory, they might not be able to relate what happened to you before that experience. Because sometimes experiences that pivot, there must be a landing pad that elevated that experience for you.
Something led
So what
there.
was happening at that time before that experience? Were you sick? Did you go somewhere? Did you meet someone? You know.
I don't really know. Nothing really happened. All I just know, I don't want to mention churches.
No, you
Yeah.
don't have to.
There's a particular church I attend before. We don't really pray like that. So a friend of mine invited me to my present church, and then we pray more and all of that. I just noticed that sometimes I used to have some strange dreams.
Okay.
And then whenever I go to this prayer mountain, whenever I pray, there's this business breakthrough, and then that particular dream, there's a particular dream I used to have of, something pushing me and everything. For that particular
That
period,
period.
it won't happen. That is just the only thing I know.
Wow.
Okay.
I know that sometimes, I've not said this before, but sometimes ago, I was, when we were still very young, I went to fix my nails somewhere then. So, the woman the nail tech was not like, do you think you should meet somebody, there's this affair and all of that. Then it's been
Long
long.
ago.
So, she was not like, maybe you can meet, because then I wasn't even, I don't even think about getting married and all of that. So
You're still younger.
yeah. So when I remember, it's just this thing you said now that make me, I'd never even
Thought
thought
about
about
it.
that.
Yeah.
So I now went to see that man, and that man now said that. And then I think I was around 27 or so. It's been long. Then he now said, and when you clock 30 or something, that there's something that will kill you or something. Yeah. He said so.
Wow.
Yes. And I called my dad and I said, has there been any revelation like this on my
In the
life?
family?
When the man said, my dad said, why are you going to all these places? Don't meet up with all these kind of people, whenever you meet some of these people, put things in their mind. He's just one very young alpha guy. So I just said, God forbid, nothing bad will happen to me. And then
Just left
and
it
that's
at that.
just it. So, but I want 2019, a day to my birthday.
You were going
I was
to be
supposed
how
to clock
old?
30.
Oh, that.
That's same 30.
I was supposed to clock 30, 2019. So I know my friends were planning a surprise and all of that. Ever since that period, I just bluffed the man. I said, God forbid.
Yeah.
And in fact, I don't even go there again. After I told my dad is actually a chief ballet. So I felt if there's anything more, my dad does not stay in Lagos. He would have, but he didn't tell me. He just said, no, don't. We've not heard something like that. Just don't just go away.
Don't pay attention to those
that kind of
affairs.
thing. So it just blocked, and that's just it. So I started having that same dream again. That dream of it's crazy. And I'm like, but
Can you
there's
recount,
this-
when you say you have been having that dream, can you recount that one before the major one? Because it seems you have been having a recurrent dream.
I don't know. It's just that dream.
Okay, was it a particular dream that was repeating itself?
Yes, it's just a particular dream.
Okay.
Maybe like twice in a year.
Okay.
Wow,
Yes,
you had
same
that.
dr- yes.
And what was that dream before
when
you
I-
had that major experience?
Okay.
So maybe tell us about that
It's
recurrent
just
dream.
like me seeing a particular masquerade pursuing me seriously, and then we'll get to a particular house in that dream, and I used to see my village, not just anywhere. Same thing. Whenever I tell my dad will be like, we don't worship masquerade though. I don't know what we are talking. I don't, he will just say, don't worry, everything will be fine. Maybe you hope you are not watching some particular movie.
Movies, yes.
Don't, that kind of thing. He will just say it. But I knew it's beyond. And before then, sometimes I have this thing that, I didn't grow up with my dad. After, like my twin sister is dead, is late. I used to dream about her before.
Lord, how old was she when she
I
passed?
think she was a baby or so.
Oh, you never met her as an
no,
adult. You were
Okay.
just told to.
Yeah.
That thing you said, because I've heard of, Pascalina told me that she had a twin at a point that died too. And like they had like an attachment. Is it a twin thing?
Maybe because I had to leave my parents, I had to move back to my
Back to Lagos.
Because I started having then when I was young, they now said I should change environment. That maybe it's just the twin thing and all of that.
But that twin thing you asked of, just did you say, is it a twin thing for what?
Like they will say they have a
An
connection.
attachment. That
No,
once you move away,
as a twin myself, when I was younger, they used to say that a lot. And but my twin is a girl, so there were a lot of differences. But then there was and again there were times when we are apart. I could be at my dad's place, my twin sister is at my mom's place, because she had to be around a woman who will raise her, since she was also growing to become a woman. But there were times when I could fall ill at my dad's place. I'll fall ill from time to time because, again, abandonment. But she, on the other end, too, will fall ill.
Fall ill.
You get. So I believe that there's a kind of
There's a kind of
connection
connection,
for
yes.
Of
twins.
course,
Yeah.
I can totally believe that, because when children share womb, you are taking fluids from the mother, you're taking your nutrients, so you might actually. That's why I believe in spiritual things. There are many things science cannot explain.
Explain exactly.
And so please go ahead.
No, so then they now said I should just move away from my
That
parents,
environment.
that kind of
Yeah,
it. Like, should just, so I've been staying with my uncle. So before that, my birthday, like I said earlier, this new church they're attending, there's this Bible that it's Agio that wrote that Bible. So behind it, there's this prayer point, and then whenever I'm praying, I will open that particular, and you say, you are created for. Sorry.
There's a
You are
particular thing you must just say,
yes.
Sha.
It's just like a saying that you are being created for. That what you are being created for is that it's just all about your
Like
creation.
Like a confession, affirmation.
I'll
Yeah.
keep on reading that because I'm still like I've not even given my life to Jesus. I just used to go to that prayer. I'll just go there, pray. Whenever I pray, business will boom. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want to go back.
Yeah.
So I like to go. Apart from, I don't know what it's doing, but I know that my business, the way my business, and then I won't dream about that particular dream for some time. So at least it's, when you have this thing that you keep on dreaming about something and you don't even understand. So at my church, my main church, then my former church is not a spiritual. We don't pray too much. We just go
But they
dance.
had maybe a different kind of doctrine.
Yes, doctrine. So I like to go. So after the last time I went, then my birthday was on April 14th. Then
So your
13th,
friends were planning stuff.
Your
they were planning
major
surprise
birthday,
birthday
your
for
30th.
me. Yes, my 30th. So they were saying, my friend called me and said, will you come to the mainland and all of that? I said, I don't know, that I will try and come. I don't know, I'm not feeling too well. A day before 13th, I went to Studio 24. I went to have some photo shoot that I was going to post and everything.
On your birthday, back to do plenty,
You
plenty. This
understand?
thing.
So, but I just noticed that my face was swollen. Although that week I wasn't feeling too well.
Okay.
I was feeling sick.
Okay.
I lost my appetite. I don't even know how I was feeling. I wasn't feeling myself, but I noticed my face was just swollen, kind of.
Okay.
It was even after the whole thing, and I went back to the picture, and I truly realized that my face were truly swollen. And that's just it. So the night, there's this my neighbor. It was not saying the other flat. It was not, we'll go out to, the kind of life now. We'll go out to, it's your birthday. We're going to celebrate.
Your
Let's
30th.
go out. Yes, now.
It's a major birthday.
Yes. We're going to, I said, I don't feel like going out. I'm even supposed to be on the mainland. So the guy now cooked beans. So thank God that guy heard it. I said, but yeah, he put something. He came to my flat. He said, yeah, let me eat. Oh yeah, eat now. What happened? Why are you feeling like? I said, I'm not feeling too well. He said, eat. He had the food and he gave me. I said, I'll eat. I couldn't even. I just tasted and I dropped. And that was it. So 12 a.m. people started calling me to wish me happy birthday. My parents called me to wish me happy birthday. So I don't know. The gen was on. I said, let me go and put off the gen around 1:30 to 2. Normally now you can step out and put off your gen and come back in.
Yeah.
When I was about to step out, something told me not to step out. I said, is it today that something I used to even go out?
You're used to.
You understand now? What is the big deal? My compound. I just step out. While I was coming back, I felt as if someone poured me cold water. As if someone poured me something. I just put off the gen. I just said, I cover myself with the blood of Jesus. What is this? I entered.
So your body just went cold.
Like someone literally, like
Ice
there's
water.
no water on me.
Yeah.
But I literally, it felt so alive, like so
Like you
real.
shivered,
Like
like-
yes. I'm like, what is this? Then I got back in. I pick up my phone. I said, let me keep on chatting and receiving calls. My friend was like, you come. I said, don't worry. Very early this morning, like 6 a.m. I will leave the house. I just realized I couldn't sit. It was as if somebody was gripping my neck. I said, maybe I needed to drink water. Maybe I've been lying. When you've been lying for a very long time on your pillow, like maybe I'm choked. Or
Yeah.
I went to the fridge. I took water. I said, no, this is not
Normal.
water. I went to, because we used to pray on our anointing oil. I took the anointing oil. I rubbed over my body. I knew this thing is not
Normal.
because I would say, when you are alone in the house, I say, what is wrong with me?
You'll be talking
the
to
voice,
yourself.
yes, the voice came back. What is wrong with me? I say, what is wrong with? I knew this thing is not. I ran out. I wasn't putting on anything because when I went to put off, I was putting on. So
Okay.
I ran out. I wasn't putting on anything. I went to the other flat. These guys, I went to come outside. That was around to 2, maybe like 10 minutes or to 2. I ran out. I ran out. I went everywhere. I was just running back inside. Please come. I held my Bible to my chest. I was screaming. Please, I don't know. My phone. I said, call my dad. At the point where they took my phone from me, the words were not coming out very well again because I couldn't call my password. I was saying 0. The words, they were just saying, and as I was holding the Bible, I don't know, I was just screaming, Jesus, save me. People were they were so much, they came out.
From their houses.
I still have
Houses.
friends that I can call and put on loudspeaker and ask them that they were there. In fact, the guy that came to perform on my wedding,
Okay.
it was
One
one of
of
our
the people
yes.
there.
So they know my story. So I can put a call through to him now and ask him what really happened that day. And that's how I slumped. I did not know what happened. They said they called my dad. I was just there for a very long time. But after I fell, I could hear people calling me afar off. It was so faint. Eniola, very, very like. But when that moment when I wanted to slump, I don't know that moment, but I could hear vanity upon vanity. Vanity upon vanity.
Okay, you were hearing it
Yes.
while you were passing out.
Yes. You see, I am when we talk about spirituality, me before. I'm not. I don't even.
You sure they go church?
It's not even. You understand? Just because my parents are Christian, let everybody should go to church. Let us go to church. So it's beyond me. It is not just, it's just God that really just renew my soul. I fell for a very long time. I don't know how long, but wherever I was, can I go ahead?
Of course.
Yes, please.
I knew I opened my eye. It was so dark. So dark.
So after you slumped,
I
and you
don't
were
know
hearing
how-
that faint vanity upon vanity,
Yeah.
and you were hearing them also calling your name.
Yes,
That's
yes.
your friends.
Yeah.
Where were you at that place? Were you already in that dark place at that point?
I don't know. It was just so far away. And
Okay.
for some time,
You now
after
saw the
a while, I
darkness.
just opened my eye wherever I was.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
I just fell. I don't know how it happened. But you know why they were trying to maybe carry me or something. I could hear them calling my name faintly, very Eniola, but it's so
Faint.
Yes,
Faint.
I fell. But before I finally lost consciousness, I could hear vanity upon vanity. I heard it.
Okay.
Vanity upon vanity, and that's just it.
So now you opened your eyes.
Yeah.
So what
And you were in
happened from
another
there?
It was so, I don't know, it was so dark. You know, thick darkness that you can literally want to cut through. I'm talking about thick darkness. Nothing, no, any, it was so dark. And then I felt a grip on my shoulder and another one on my shoulder. I can't see anything. But, you know, the road is so bad. Like, you know, this untiled road. that
Untiled road.
is, when they're having,
Stone.
so yeah, so as they were, my face was on the floor like this. They held me. It was like bone. I couldn't see their face. I don't know who they were. They
As
were
if skeletal hands were
Yes, they were
holding you.
holding me, and then my face was just facing down, and they were taking me. So my leg was eating, and that's how I got to know that the floor was really rough. The road, my leg. You know when they held,
knee.
when somebody is so unconscious, they were
Yeah,
just
so your legs are dragging.
you. So my leg was just going on the.
the stone.
So I gained
Did you
consciousness.
feel yourself being dragged from the front? Or
No,
the
they were
back?
taking me like, no, I don't know. Two grip
Because
on
if
my
two people
shoulder.
were holding your
They were just
shoulder,
taking me to
the
the
logical
front, like,
place anybody could be dragging you is forward.
yeah, maybe. Because I just opened my eye. I don't
Because
know.
it was thick, so you
It
can't really tell
Yes, I
what-
don't know. But
yeah.
I could feel my leg dragging
dragging
on the
the
floor,
floor.
the
Okay.
road or whatever. I can't even see the floor, but I could feel it. So I got to know that the road is not smooth. Because, and they were taking me. And as they were taking me, the only thing I could see, because I told you it's so dark,
Yeah.
it's just far off, like a field of fire. No, it's so huge. You know, when you're on Tommy Land and you look at the water, and it seems as if the water leveled with the sky.
With the sky,
It's
okay.
just as if that is that kind of fire. It was so affair of. They were taking me. But the more we're getting closer, the heat from the fire
Was hitting.
was what got to me. It's not even where. And I started struggling. I said, "Why are you taking me? Let me go." I was struggling. At that point, they said I was struggling in my room. That
Okay,
all of
in
a
the
sudden,
physical.
I started struggling in the room. They said it's a long hair. They cover me. They call my dad. My dad could confirm I was dead.
Dead.
But I started struggling. They said some people, there's this French guy
Sorry,
to that.
I'm a bit curious because when you fell to the floor and you probably lost consciousness and was dead, what were the people doing? Did they not make effort to take you to hospital or
They said
get
I
you
was
some
just
kind
cold.
of
I'd gone.
medication? Because if people gathered and this is happening to someone physically,
But you
they
know
would have
it's-
to look for
Medical
hospital,
arrangements.
medical attention.
I don't know, but that was like 2 a.m.
But again, you know the spiritual time.
It's not the same.
Exactly. So what could have taken probably 5 minutes here?
That is exactly
In
what
the
happened.
spiritual,
I'm still-
if he be,
Yeah.
because I've
Take
heard
longer.
even like KG Hamilton, one of these days I will bring him. He had spoken about this thing before, how the spiritual, how he even had to learn how to play instruments.
timing.
You get that spirit taught him how to play instruments, and what looked like, was it
5 minutes?
3
yeah,
hours
is-
here?
yeah.
Was like 3 days there. So he had been out. You get so of course. The timing wise, spirituality and physical could be different.
So
while they were dragging you now, yeah,
they
and the
said I
fire.
was gone. I was there. They covered me with the same blanket on my bed. They just called my parents. I was cold out. Like there's nothing they can like do.
Yeah.
And the kind of place I was living, it's a lot of flats. Like I think there were a lot of people.
What area of Lagos was it?
Aja.
Aja? Just Aja here.
Yes, Aja.
Okay.
So they said I was dead.
Out
They
already.
called my dad. My dad was shocked that the next day that they said I came back to life. Like they called him that I was dead.
That, yeah.
They
Because again,
covered
your
me
body was cold.
cold and
So
and
obviously.
gone. The only thing they said they said people were just outside. So when I started struggling, they started out to call people. She's struggling. No, she's moving.
So that means sometimes, because I've seen because again, I've lost people too in my life. And I've heard cases where some people were already presumed dead,
Yeah.
but we're also tearing up. And so they had to stay with them for some time, and see. Some people were already, said to be dead, but their body was still warm. And then it was after a while, they didn't come back. That's when doctors and all of that now said, okay, person is dead and all that. But it took them a while to go finish.
Because,
so probably in the spirit, stuff was happening. You get, just saying.
I don't really know about what was happening there, but after days, because they couldn't even talk to me, the nurse and all of that, they started coming. They said when I started struggling and I started screaming hellfire, that one woman now said, this is a spiritual battle that is not ordinary. People that, I don't know, there's a lot, almost all, it's a big
flat.
I think we have how many flats? It's very
so many people living there,
30, yeah.
So let's
so people came to my apartment. They were like, what kind of thing? Like, some people even carry their baby. I'm like, down until they now said, so there's this guy, he's a French guy.
Okay.
He's a French guy. He attended my present church too.
Okay.
They said he was just speaking in tongues that period. People that can pray, they were
Of
just
course,
praying,
normal.
and he particularly was speaking in tongues that he was he was just at the door.
Okay.
So he was even the first person that noticed I was
What's up?
struggling. Gilo, he's no longer in Nigeria again. So, but where I was, as the fire was getting to me, the heat, I started screaming, where are you taking me? Let me go. Let me go. Please, I was screaming. And they said everything I started saying, where are you taking me? Let me go.
Okay, so as you were screaming there, you were screaming physically.
Physically,
okay.
Everything. I don't know how God did that. I was saying it.
Yeah.
Let me go. Where are you taking me? No, I cannot die. And then I could hear one of them said, you are dead. And this is your, so we're taking you to where you spend eternity. They actually were replying me. You are dead.
What was their voice like?
I don't know. I won't say. But they just replied me, you are dead. And this is your soul. We're taking you to where you spend eternity. I heard that.
Okay.
And at some point I was struggling. I said, no, I cannot die. I said, everything I was saying. I was struggling and I was saying I cannot die. Because truly when I opened, I realized everywhere was really scattered. I cannot die. Let me go. And I said, you've been dead. They now told me my sins. They said, one, unforgiveness. I didn't see anyone, but I could hear voices.
You could still, the only thing you were experiencing is pitch darkness
and the fire.
And the two people.
So the only thing that I know that I saw very well is the fire. It was so wild. At some point when they were taking me, I was there screaming, I cannot die. Jesus, save me. I think when I mentioned Jesus was when they said, you are dead. And this is your soul. We're taking you to where you spend eternity. And there's no forgiveness here and all of that. You've been given enough time. Yeah. They said that in particular. You've been given enough time on earth. And you weren't doing the right thing. And they said, they told me my sins, unforgiveness, malice. In fact, they were even breaking it down. Unforgiveness. The person that we add it together, the person that
you
did
keeping
something
in
that
mind.
wronged me. Malice, they broke it down. Indecent dressing, they broke it down.
Hey.
And then no heart of service, they broke it down. These are the 4 things they told me. No heart of service.
Okay, so that one now, how did that happen? Did they bring you before a judge?
They were just, as they were taking me, they just,
they were telling you?
Yes. They just stood and then they told me, and this, I'm being condemned to die for 4 sins. These are the sins.
Okay, so now, from here now, moving, right? There is because again we don't have so much time, right? Because still have to talk about that forgiveness part and all of that. But now they mentioned to you about the reasons why you are probably being condemned.
Yeah.
And then the fire. Did you get to where the fire is? Did you see
They were just taking me. It
spiritual
was
beings?
so close. No, I didn't see any spiritual being.
Okay.
It was so close. I kept on screaming, Jesus, have mercy. If you give me the second chance, I will serve you. I will live for you. I will talk about you. Have mercy. Jesus, I kept on screaming. And then I heard another voice that said, Father, what will you gain if this soul should die? She is a vessel. She can still be used. And that was my
voice
saving
now
grace.
came
Yeah.
later on,
Yeah.
after all the
After
condemnation.
that voice, then those people holding me and I couldn't feel anything again. And he said, go and tell everyone, fire is real, heaven is real. You've been given a second chance. That's how I opened my eye.
So now there was, yeah.
And when I
Because
was
all
screaming
those-
that fire is real, they could hear. They said I was shouting,
Shouting it in the
fire is
physical.
real. Yes, fire is real. I can call them.
So now about the issue of, because again, like I said, we don't have so much time. So now let's now take it into the reasons why you were supposed to be condemned.
Okay.
Forgiveness, malice, indecent dressing, and of course, no heart of service or something, right? So let's deal with, like you said earlier, let us deal with the forgiveness part and all. When you came back to life, of course, people go down, shout, and do all of that, what they would do, and hey, and all of that. What was your take? How did you from there start to think about who it is that you had probably held in your heart? Did you know the person that you held in unforgiveness?
Yeah,
Because if
course.
you ask me now, I don't know. Let's say I held some people for mine, though.
It's not just one person then.
Oh, serious?
Forgiving someone is not easy. I didn't even know, like someone like me now, before this were encounter, I didn't even know that. I thought if someone wrong, well, just go your own. I don't want to talk to you again. Just be
Okay.
go. That kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that-
I
that-
just want to be on my own. Let me have peace.
Yeah, that
I
thing that
thought
people do
naturally
sometimes was say
it's
yes.
cool. I didn't know that. No, you had to,
Trash it out.
yes, talk
So
about
because
it and
see
everything.
people they do that thing where they just say, I know one wahala, day your day, make I day my day. But that thing still dey there somewhere. All those issue of make I avoid them, I rather avoid you than. So that how do we now balance stuff like that?
But even before we get to that unforgiveness part, when you came to yourself, what was the experience? How did it, you came back to life?
It wasn't.
Did you see the people?
I think.
What was your state? What were their expressions? What was their reaction? Because I won't lie. I heard such a thing, I'm going to run. I don't want to, because this is a spiritual kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know where you came from before you bring something. Because some people have been told, I've seen people that say they had this kind of experience and they brought back evil spirits.
Yes,
From where they
she was
went.
actually right.
Oh, really?
When I
Like a
came back,
portal, because
Yeah, like a
it's like a
portal.
portal opened.
Yeah.
And if you are not careful,
She's so
other
right.
beings can follow you and
Yeah,
come.
she's so right, because when I couldn't even walk. My leg were old, but it was as if I could still feel that fire, like the heat. The only thing I don't even know the song. I was just singing, "How you love me so, I shall never know the precious." I don't really know it, but I was just singing it, and I was literally and people were shouting. They were just they were just praying. They knew, because at that point they said I was saying a lot of things.
Yeah.
They were just praying. When there was this thing. What you said after that, do you know I felt? It's not just one encounter. Do you know I felt as if something entered me, as if I was going mad. You were right. Then at that moment, well, it's not me, it's my encounter.
Yeah.
Then I started, and then a voice was speaking out of my mouth and was saying, "You spirit of insanity, get out of this body. She's of the Lord. She shall serve the Lord." I can never forget. It's not me talking. This one is so loud. It thundered like it's so loud. Because truly, when I came back, I didn't get myself. I just crawled to the bed, and the people were shouting, and at that point, something just entered me. I don't know again. I wanted to go out again, naked. They held me back. I could remember.
So all this you were doing, you were without clothes.
No, the blanket they had on me was what I had on
that
me.
means when this encounter was about to start, You ran out of your room without clothes.
Yes,
Like-
I went
yeah,
to her.
like
I
she
said
said.
it. I said I was just tying to her. I went outside to put off the chain.
Yeah.
I said
So
it.
when
Yes,
it started,
I know. I'm like,
Yeah, so when it came,
must be
when I ran out to
strange.
say I didn't have anything on. When I ran out to like I said. So I just had that. I was almost running again. Then they held me, and then so it's beyond. It's more deeper than. It's just more deeper.
so that one now, that voice came, and like you said, it
Spoke
wasn't
through
you
me,
talking; it
it
spoke
wasn't
through
me.
you.
And that was when I know that truly.
So was it like a
Voices
case of because definitely some people will have looked and say, if that says she don't decrease. Definitely. There are people who would see, because again, I schooled in Edo State. I see these things, I saw these things. It was like regular. And at some point, it really, you will just see somebody who just starts to manifest. Somebody who just starts to run around, and she will literally tell you, I'm from this kingdom and this and this and this and this. And in fact, when I was in secondary school, boarding school, the girl who was like I think she was like our food prefect or something. The girl talk one day, say they don't put things inside our food. They had to do mass deliverance for all of us. No kidding, But then again, let's just go back to the story because there's a lot, that
to
people also
unpack
need
there.
to gather. You had come back now. People have started reacting and everything, Is there still any voice that still came after that particular voice spoke?
No.
No.
I was after that. I just slumped. Then they put me on the bed. I was just there till I slept for a very long time
to gather yourself.
And then so it was after the whole thing. I now realized that there is more to what happened to me. From my, a lot of covenants with. I don't know if you
Okay.
understand what I'm trying
Yeah,
to say.
yeah,
I don't have
yeah.
to say everything.
Yeah.
So
Because
there are a lot of
these
things that we
conversations,
don't
why we
Yeah.
have them, is because when you are delivered, the Bible says something like, even the lawful captives, God can release. That this one you are lawfully meant to be there.
Yeah.
But when deliverance is complete, it is complete. Because if we don't shed light on everything, people enter into covenants every day they don't even know.
Yeah.
So you need to talk about those things because you don't know who this podcast can set free. People don't know that. Just little things like, do you agree? So you and me, you don't think we'll be together forever? I say, of course, I will be with you forever. If I leave you, I will never prosper. And you say, you mean it? Say you mean it. And you say, I mean it with my whole heart. Bam.
Covenant.
Because at my age has a lot to do with. It was as if it's either she died or something happened that day.
And
It's
again,
not just
the experiences you had been having before
Before
then
then.
could all be
Yes.
telling
Are
the
you,
same
are
story.
you sure your dad ever told you the truth? Because
did.
sometimes they will say that somebody have been having like Ogbanje spirit or some spirit have been chasing you or eyeing you from
I
far.
just know that I dream. When I was
Was
growing
that
up,
dream
I
you were
dream
having?
a lot.
A lot.
I dream a lot. Sometimes I dream. Something that will happen a day
And
before.
it's-
In fact, when I was very, very young, my dad used to say sometimes when he's going out, that be like, don't go out too. That if you go out, and and that he would say, it will go out the same thing.
That is where I
so
am
I
going.
think there is more, but then I guess it's because of the fact that I've been going to a prayer ground.
You know, I like the fact that you mentioned there's so many things that happen to us in the spirit that a lot of people these days do not take cognizance of. Because some people, they are born into covenants that they themselves don't know. I'll tell you a story that somebody told me many years ago. They said this particular family, in fact, is that like, I don't know if I knew them. All the male, the father of they had 6 boys and 3 girls. They say all the boys, 3 of the brothers had died at 40. 40. So there were only 3 boys remaining. So, and it usually happens the eve of their wedding. Once they marry, they will start to get sick. In fact, some of them, they said they might not even consummate till they died. They said it was one of them that was born again. He said on his wedding night that prior his wedding, God had told him that after he marries, he must not touch his wife for 6 days, that he must fast with his wife. that he must not make attempt to consummate. You know, there are so many stories I don't like to do. And they talk about that, they feel good. And they said, his wife, of course, you know how women can be. And they traveled out of the country for a honeymoon. So they said the first night she agreed and like, okay, bro. They said by the third night, the woman became like a crazed person, fighting her husband that, are you sure you're not impotent? You married me. Eh? Which one is fasting? She became so adamant. He said he kept begging her and said that this is a command from God.
But does that also mean that he didn't communicate that with his wife?
You know, there are some things, no matter how you tell a sister, it's a different thing.
True. So hearing,
She
of
can't
course,
understand. Oh, we're going to fast. You know, it's sweet when you never marry. Brother and sister will do it the right way.
Yeah.
You can't reach maybe on Honolulu.
Yeah.
Bro, can't they talk say, you know, they consume. Wait till happen.
Baba, how far?
I don't dare yet, Tete. On this month, I paid. And I kept my
I
venture.
kept myself for that.
I kept.
Yeah.
And they said, on the 7th night, they said the mother of the boy appeared in their room. I said, what are you doing? Consummate your wife's wedding. Consummate your marriage bed.
You're married, yeah.
And he said, never, Mama, I will never consummate. They said by the time she disappeared, or whatever, how they saw it, I think maybe both of them fell into a trance or they slept and they saw that vision. They called them from Nigeria that Mama was dying. They said this woman had covenanted her children
Some knowingly or unknowingly.
for elongation of life. They said she was sick as a child. Maybe that was where she got into witchcraft or something. And she didn't know. She had covenanted her children
Yeah.
that at the age, our ripe age, maybe when she, you know, people that think I won't live up to 40.
40.
And they said that for you to cross that age, you must lose your children at that age. So this boy, for not, and it all usually happens once they consummate, it's as if the cause is set in motion.
It takes effect, yeah.
And that's why the three
Other brothers.
other brothers had died before this last one. So there are some foundational covenants.
Yeah.
And it's a story they told me. It wasn't like I saw these people. But you know how you hear these things. So I understand when you were talking
I think
about
RMD also had that
covenant.
same kind of situation.
I'm like,
At a particular
wow.
age, the men in the family or something, I think was this 50 or 60, they die.
Wow.
You know, so he had that.
because he was sick at the time.
Yes. So that was also when he was fighting that battle because he said he had to break that
covenant.
particular covenant.
I think mine was more, it has more to do with maybe that business breakthrough. The kind of money that, you know, I wasn't touching. You know, when you went to a prayer mountain, things, the kind of business deal that you don't have before, everything starts.
That's so happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know that there is a covenant in place. I know, right? Because after that, during some deliverance section, my church, you know, some voices will start speaking out and be like, she's been this so son name, she's been covenanted to me. Yeah, this
That
one
you
had
don't know.
happened in my past when they were.
Okay.
I know. You know a voice is speaking to you, but you don't have that power to
stop it.
control it. I know that some voices will be like, my son name is Fagbamiye. You know, there's this Ifa, this thing. And the voice will be like, it will be covenanted to me and all of that.
Yeah.
This is it. And we start praying and praying. After that, that's just like, I don't,
surface.
yes.
But that was
It was a
after the
lot.
whole thing had
Oh,
happened.
say.
Because at the end of the
It got
day,
to a point, Prayer City became like my own.
Your place.
I had to go because the dreams now started becoming more. You know, before it's just they were just showing me like very like it's not really. They were just giving me small. It now started coming, and then I would see things
More
I would have
intense.
that was even. It was at that point after I had to call my dad. What is happening? Tell us this thing. Now. You know, parents sometimes they tend to hide some things.
Yeah.
in the
What
bid
is
to
there
protect you.
something now?
Sometimes it's to
I now got
protect
to
you.
know a lot of secrets about my grandfather, great grandfather, because if my pastor be like, so thing, this, I know. My dad now be like, but they don't know it's still active now because it's been long. Even the shrine that then the great grandfather and
but
father used
Yeah.
to
they
worship,
probably didn't
nobody
know.
is doing, you know, that kind of thing. And then, but those covenants were still in place.
Yeah.
They've not been. Nobody has broken it. You know, they are just all those like so.
Yeah. So that means for everyone who is watching right now, because again, this thing, we are Africans. We have
I said
history.
it or not. You have
One way or the other,
great-grandfather, yeah.
you have history. Your great grand,
Idol
your grand, your
worshipper.
this one, they've probably done one or two things that you don't know could be affecting presently. Now, it may not be for everybody because maybe one of your parents had gone to do some other things later to cut some things, to end some covenants and all. So it may be your parent, maybe your parents' parents. Some, none of them has done anything. And these things could be showing up in a person's present life. So everybody has a duty to go and look at them, their own self. At the same time, if you've been having some type of dreams too, some things are a pointer towards a particular direction. But just for time's sake as well, now let's just jump into the forgiveness, unforgiveness thing. Because again, this was the reason why you were almost. So back to the dream, just for a few minutes. Did you see any being?
It's not a dream.
Sorry.
I wasn't
Sorry,
dreaming.
it wasn't a dream. Back to your
Experience.
that experience, that encounter.
Yes. It
Did you see
wasn't a
any
dream.
being at the lake of fire and all of that?
No.
So still
I
inside
just
all
saw
that
the fire.
Okay.
It's real. In fact, I was screaming so I was begging, literally.
Because it
begging,
would be
like,
a fearful
screaming.
experience,
Yes,
definitely.
it's so terrible. I said, I think prayer city became I can't even, I was so scared, like, it's
So-
not a small thing.
so
Over
now-
time, like almost a year, I didn't even get myself. I'll just be thinking, who wanted me to die? This and this and this. So hell is real. It's a different thing when they preach in church. Fire is real. Heaven is real.
become too familiar
and
with
then
it.
you now had the encounter, like
Yeah.
it's really it's
It's really
fearful,
terrifying. So now that we have come to the pivotal, because when we have experiences, there are take-homes and there must be reasons.
Yeah.
And they gave you those 4 things that stood out for you. How did you used to dress at that time? Because they said indecent dressing. Were
Nobody that know
you
me then. I'm not wayward, but I like to, because I don't really go out then. I like to wear something very short. People that know me know I like to wear something very short. In fact, in school, then it's like that is like my
Logo.
They know me. So
And
I
you're
like to wear
allowed the
something
legs.
short. I like to wear very. In fact, in school, when this thing came, that nickname they gave me, hot leg.
Hot legs.
Okay.
Those things they write in your.
Yeah.
I like very short thing. I like very. I like to, not because I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
But I just like
Just
to
your
wear
style.
short. I didn't know that it is sin. I didn't know it was over time that I started realizing that you are not allowed to wear just anything. You can't just put on anything. You can't just show your boobs and
Your
everything.
chest, yeah.
Yes, you understand.
So you had to adjust that at that time. They also talked about acts of service.
Yes.
What did that mean to you?
Meaning that it's not just to go to church. Some people used to say, you don't need you don't need a building. You can worship God in your
anywhere.
house. It's not real, low.
That thought.
Our act of service is so important to God. Like, we are being created to serve Him, not just you being in your house and worshiping God. Because they told me, they said, no act of, like, I've literally not done anything for God. I don't have anything recorded. Probably, probably join being an usher or anything. I don't have anything recorded. They don't even know anything about me.
So that means you had to amplify your service in church. And it's do physical.
I think there is a particular place in the Bible where even God said, it's not just for men to see. Let even your heavenly Father, like, let him see your work, like, and so that it will glorify. I think he said, let your something shine so that it will glorify
Your light
God.
shine so
so
that
that which is
All right,
in
because I
heaven.
wanted to look at all the 4 pivotal, the 4 minor ones before we face
and then malice.
the Ogbong
Okay.
malice. So they keep malice well that time.
Just like I said, I would just be like, well, go your own, let me go my, I don't want problem. I
Because
won't forgive
that
you.
thing, that
I'll
thing is
just-
silent. But
I don't know now.
it is silent. It is like I'm avoiding trouble. But there's a thin line between that thing and malice, literally. Because again, it's a thing of the heart. It's the heart that you will check, literally. Why are you doing what you're doing? Right? Because in the case of malice, for example, it is, I don't want to follow and talk. This one don't vex me. Or you have hurt me this way. Let me stay my own. I'll not talk to this person anymore. Now, that is your heart.
To not lead to
which can now
unforgiveness.
lead to unforgiveness. Exactly. You
Now
know, so
hold
that's
the
the
person
best
and be
place
like-
sometimes for
Yeah.
unforgiveness.
So now that we have where we wanted to go, why is unforgiveness so big for you? Are there some experience that you had that you consider unforgivable? Because I know someone, I heard, I wasn't there. You know, sometimes a lot of stories are just handed down. They said even at his deathbed, he said his grandfather or something raped him, raped him
Was it
or
a baby,
her.
a lady?
I can't remember whether it's a man or a woman. They said he was dying and they were praying for him. He said he would rather go to hell
Than forgive
than
that person.
forgive that person. And what the person did was really bad.
Yeah.
They said he was raped as a child, and that is what made him impotent in life.
Oh.
He said so he would never forgive them. They said the thing has affected him psychologically, that his body no longer functions because he associates that
Yes.
with something bad.
Bad, yeah,
So
the-
his body goes into panic mode. They said he has done so many therapies as a child. It didn't work. So he never had he never married, he never had children.
Wow.
And he was now still sick.
Wow.
And when they brought this thing to him, he said never. Because there must be something so monumental for a spiritual experience to happen. What would you say on that? Is there something
so
pivotal that
personal.
happened?
Yeah, this is so personal to me.
You can
My own
just
is not
skip
raped,
around
but
it. Somebody hurt
It's
you.
something that had to reshape me. And this involved a family of mine.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, when you trust somebody so well, then when you feel you are dating somebody and you trust somebody so well, and then your family, someone you call your and then now
own.
to go behind that
And do some bad.
with the person that you, so it's so personal. So I would like to
Yeah,
really,
it
Okay.
was very
Okay.
hurtful. Yeah, because I have to
And he stayed
amplify,
there.
because a lot of people
it's
don't
so
know.
personal. Like I can't see my, at that. I can't even
At that
forgive.
time.
Do you know how many? I was telling you today that I had to do so many. I had to do so many other calls. I was just carrying myself. You know when you say I've forgiven somebody, you have not forgiven that person.
Sometimes,
And then you
sometimes,
start praying.
Yeah.
And then the Holy Spirit will now go back to that thing and be like, and you now realize that whenever your thoughts go towards that thing and you start feeling
it hurts
pain,
you. Yes.
you now
You've
realize
not
that you've not
forgiven.
forgiven
Yes.
that person.
That's so-
I had
sometimes it's
to-
when you see the person.
had
That
to
is
do
why
so
this
many
malice thing,
altar call.
I don't want to see this person. I don't want to see this person. You never forgive.
Forgive.
When you now see the person, it go do you like this.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's so personal. I had to do so many altar call. I'll go. I'll be like,
you were
God,
able
I
to
forgive.
work it out.
It's I don't know how to explain
At
it
least
because
it
I
took,
don't really
but
want to.
I hope that you were able to arrive at that forgiveness junction.
Of course.
At
of
least with
course,
certain
even-
people. So how did you go about
I
it? Did
realized
you?
that even after I'd forgiven the person, after Christ has taken over, because I realized it's not just you it's God that will encounter you. It's
Yeah.
the only one that can encounter you, and you realize some things are not what you think them to be. It's not just all about you. I used to tell people, yes, we go out there, we preach about the word of God and everything. It's God that can touch somebody's heart.
Of course, but the
that
Bible
can-
had told us that
eh,
nobody has the power
Power
of
to- yeah.
conversion.
So-
It is the work of the Holy Spirit.
So over time, I just realized after letting everything go, in fact, it's like I've been holding my own blessing. Because do you know that that same person is now the pathway, what I thought I lost,
Lost.
and now like gained. She's not like, it was through her. As in we're not talking. I wouldn't have even met my bigger blessing. So you understand?
Because that is the thing about this
We now
thing.
got talking. In fact, true, and now met my bigger blessing.
Listen.
And then, so God is faithful. So when He's telling you to let go, it's not easy.
Sometimes there's
But
something ahead
That
that
it
because
needs
we're
to-
using our senses to judge one
it
or
was
two
so
things.
painful. I couldn't.
You know?
Whenever I think about it,
Anyway, you've gone past that one. At least you've done what you needed to do, at least to go past that. But for me, part of the reason why forgiveness is very, very important. I've had my own fair share of cases where I needed to stop and actually forgive a person, you know? And it even before other cases, just alone, even my dad alone, even my father, you know, because again, I grew up in that setting where my dad was absent. And I was quite mad at him for a long time. And again, being a young guy, imagine staying inside Surulere, your father is not too far from you, but he never comes to see you. And at the same time, probably at some point now tells your principal in school, when you're in secondary school, probably writes a letter and says, please take care of my ward. The word is like somebody I'm taking care of. So it's like your papa no own you. It was painful because I opened that letter when I got to school before I gave it to my principal. Before they send me.
English, oh.
You said?
It's just English, Baba, right?
Not English now.
Because
But I know where the thing enter me.
Yeah.
You get, and it kept me a certain way for years.
Yes.
So for like 13 years, I didn't see my dad. We didn't even have a relationship, And my mind, I was like, I was claiming one uncle as my father until myself and my father eventually met face to face. That's when I realized, you don't keep this man for hard sins. And he had to now explain his own side of the whole thing. And because I'd become a man, I now understood.
Understand.
But then I still had to go through a process of letting go of that thing I had held for a very long time. And the devil, being a bad guy, sometimes he can just stop you from even receiving a fatherly blessing because of that thing. So there are things sometimes that God will just want you to do this thing. Don't worry, just forgive this person. There may be something ahead of you, that. That's just one story out of several other people who have also hurt me.
Forgiveness.
That I had to.
Forgiveness is a challenging thing because it's, for me, there have been people, like now I know I'm holding somebody. But
if you are watching now, you just think your own. No, a lot of us are saying our own piece.
no, because I say that to say that is a constant thing that we will do as long as we exist on this earth.
Yeah.
From time to time, you have to take stock and look around you.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you might just think, oh, this thing happens to only a select few. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
No matter who you think you are, there are some people that would come into your life, and if somebody like me can be existing now, I have been a product of disappointments from people. And especially places I watered.
Yeah.
That you would expect a harvest from.
Yeah.
But you go there and you meet a desert. And you're like, but I watered this garden. Why can't you just give me a little bit of fruit? But that is life for you.
Yeah.
You have to come to that place of understanding and know that forgiveness is not something you do once off. Because when people look at this podcast, they say, hey, one person.
Yeah.
It is a constant, it's like bathing. Every day you have to come out of your house. You have to bath. And that is why I like that scripture that will say, if you brought a gift to the altar, they said, drop it there.
Go back.
Go back. Because it's constant.
Yeah.
You have to renew it. Because every day as we move, Obolokul has forgiven his dad. But over the years, he had met other people that he needed to not forgive. But you have to constantly take stock of your life on a daily basis so that the freedom that she has now, that he has, that I have relatively, you won't have it.
Yeah.
Because unforgiveness is a weight.
It is.
He holds your shoulder down.
And you may not even know until you start to practice forgiveness.
Oh, yes. That's when you will now know that,
I
but look
carry
at
this
what
thing.
she said. She said the person she forgave is the pathway that God now used for a bigger blessing. That means that you might be struggling so much now. Just because the pathway that could have brought you blessing, you blocked.
Yeah. Because you stayed in
Just
unforgiveness.
because you stayed. There's somebody that hurt me in the last 3 years. I was so mad because I did invest in that garden and I expected better from that person. And it didn't happen. But do you know that one day the person kept reaching out to me? My mind was like, no, I do not want to have anything to do with this person.
Yeah.
But one day I said, okay, come, let me see you. I sat down and he said all that he had to say. He doesn't know, he's sorry, this and that. Even though I was looking at the sorry, I was looking for something I could just use to do him. You know, those Yoruba film was in my head, like, I should just go to the bathroom. Taku. But I just sat down. But you don't know, it's hard though.
It's
Yeah.
I
it's
look
no
at it
joke.
like this,
That's
I
why you
was
need God.
struggling.
Yeah.
They're like, why does this person want to beg me?
Yeah.
Can you not say that sorry so that I will say you didn't say sorry? That's why. But you know that this person, I've gone ahead to bless him in ways that even me didn't think possible. I've given him jobs more than once. But do you know that now I feel better?
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
It might not have reciprocated in that way.
Yeah.
But I saw that I repaired something that was broken.
Yeah.
This thing that we're talking about in this podcast today is difficult, it's challenging. For some people, it's something that feels like, this is an impossible ask. But every time you forgive someone, you are the one that has freedom.
Set yourself
Yes.
free.
And that's what I would take away from this story.
Yeah.
That every time you forgive someone, you set yourself
Self-free.
free. You live lighter. Life is sweet. When I see the person before, I will, because of that person, walk away
You
from
did-
something I'm doing.
Even your heart
Yeah.
will be palpitating.
What's happen?
Yes.
You dey here, I dey here, they chop. Why na me they come out? When are you offend me? But now, I've seen the person living his life. I'm living my own. And that doesn't mean that the blessings of God stops here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop here either.
Yeah.
So that's a monumental takeaway I got from Eniola's story.
And just because you hold someone, you hold someone in your heart for an offense they probably have also done, doesn't necessarily mean that the person will not be blessed in their own life. Because sometimes we don't know that we say we too will now become evil, like we said earlier. Because now you are holding the person, you now don't turn to the Ogbanje. You are now the oracle.
The one.
So you now see the person now making progress. Now, God, why?
I said, God, let him not prosper. When
Yeah.
I saw prosperity.
You understand? So it
I have
is
to look
at
at my
some
life,
point,
Kya.
at some point, I remember when one ex hurts me. I pray. I know.
Even me joined the prayer. I prayed
pray.
for you.
You know, so when the person hurts
No,
you.
somebody can hurt a village. No, this particular hurt. It was a village.
It was, yes.
That was hurt.
Because everybody in my life was hurt due to that hurt that I was hurt.
Yeah.
And one day I had to
And
pray.
it took me a long time for me to be even able to water that garden again.
Yeah, of course. Even for me.
Even till now, I'll
For
still
me.
manage the water.
But I remember one day I had to, not just once, I had to pray because I knew my heart, the way my heart was that time. I know saying a small thing I make me not join witchcraft. I could just turn to one heavy.
No, we would have
spirit.
joined. Don't you watch Yoruba film? Now you there all then ẹgbẹ́ mi. Ó lábúrò mi kan tó mi ọkùnrin ọmọbìnrin kan ṣe nǹkan rabata fún ẹ bá ń dá sèríà fún. Because some people Yoruba will say wọ́n gba ìjà ẹja. Some evil people, you can offend somebody and another person will now be the one to punish the person.
To buy the
for you.
market.
To buy the
The
market.
day I actually made that
Now you
prayer.
go come dey pray for the person.
Because the freedom also came for me when I started to pray. And this was like a leading. This person that is you are so angry at, pray for this person.
Yeah, that works.
It was one of the most difficult things in this life. My heart was saying, it no go better for you. My mouth was saying, you are blessed.
You are prospering.
Oh God.
You are with is well with you.
You be seeing this person's picture and say, it is well with you. But your mind is saying, you will not die better. It was a struggle. At some point, it was so heavy, I started crying.
Yeah.
But after all of these things, because it was not once, like we said, forgiveness is a process.
Yes, it's a
I had to
process.
continue doing that thing, and I felt lighter with time. To the point where I would see the person as, how far now?
How life?
And some of my friends will never pray that prayer will say, why you going to greet her like that?
Yes, because
You know?
it was a village hurt.
Yes, you get. So,
but
but
we all got there.
forgiveness is not so easy, but it's something that we have to do.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it also shows us the God in us. Because if we think our own too, and the one way God said, don't forgive us.
What are we even saying? Is it just we that we're talking that we are not forgiving other people?
Yeah.
There are people we have hurt.
Yes. Yes.
So that's why I like it.
Yeah.
When the Bible was saying that our Father, he says, and forgive those who trespass against us as I forgive you. Simple as ABT.
But
You
work.
want God's forgiveness, then
You want
extend
to
it to
forgive.
another
Yes,
human.
forgive others as well. All right.
Thank you so
Eniola,
much.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I believe that with this particular story, with this particular encounter you've had and the story you've also told, people who are also watching, who have watched today's podcast, can take a number of things. At least, if not for anything, take your spirituality serious. All right. But do you have anything to say in closing?
I don't know if you've been doubting if fire is real. I'm so sorry. If I'm
No
going to be
problem.
talking
No
about
problem.
that.
No problem.
Okay, I'm so sorry if I'm going to be talking about that. If you've been doubting if fire is real, heaven is real, fire is real. I had an encounter that really changed the core of me. Like, I'm not, this is not me. At some point, in fact, you won't understand. This is not who I used to be, but who I am now is a much more blessing to who I used to be. You know, those things I used to pursue then and all of that. I realize now that with God, you can do much more. He has opened a pathway. He has really blessed me. Everything I've been, trying to get on my own. With him, it's so easy. And I also want you to know that when you forgive someone, you set yourself free, just like we said earlier. So whatever that person you've been holding in your mind, I want you to let them go. Set the person free so you can set yourself free. Thank you for having me.
Ìjọba ọ̀run kù dẹ̀dẹ̀, aráyé yí padà, onídàájọ́ ayé ń bọ̀ tí ó béèrè lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀, báwo ló ṣe lò ó ìgbésí ayé rẹ̀. Michael is old.
You go teach me this song.
Honestly,
I don't know.
I miss a lot of songs. What's happened?
No, I want to involve now. Make it not be like say, forgive me.
Beautiful song. It just translates that the kingdom of God is at hand.
Yeah.
The person that will judge the entire earth is coming. So whatever you are doing, just know you will account.
Just imagine living your entire life and making a whole bunch of progress on earth, only for you to go the other side. They can't tell you, say this one thing, now make you no enter. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We believe that you guys have been blessed so far with this particular episode. All right, some other days we'll come do some other type of talk. All right, but most importantly, we had Eniola come today to come tell us, say her piece. And as time goes on, we're also going to bring more people who are going to share with us diverse experiences they've had in life. And of course, I will believe that one or two persons too who are watching too can relate. All right. You say you're going to look for.
I'm going to search for a Shango worshiper. No,
oh, yes,
I know it sounds funny.
Yeah, of course.
But do you know that I just realized that we Christians and Muslims are quite selfish. We actually think that every religion is either Christian or Muslim.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to hear the piece of other people.
Yeah.
How they see it.
Yeah.
It might not be our faith.
Yep.
I don't speak about any other faith. Why? I do not understand it.
Yeah.
I never lived it.
Yeah.
We're probably Christians today because we were born into Christian home. Imagine if your parents were Buddhists and you never really saw, and you lived in India for 35 years.
Yeah.
You probably will not even understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So sometimes we need to be open enough.
So have the
3 years ago,
other conversations.
I sat down and I read a little about Buddhism because I wanted to know what they believed so that I will know that I'm not stupid. And when I encounter some of their beliefs, I say, what's happened? So are you telling me that I will come? They believe that you will come to this life. Every life you lived, if you didn't live well, you will come lesser.
Back again.
No,
Okay.
you will come lesser. So if you were human before, you probably come as a goat.
As a goat.
If you still lived a goat life, bad goat life, you come out as rat. If you still live a bad rat life, you will come out back as ant until your soul is probably extinguished. That was their belief system.
Yeah.
And they even believe that it's possible to buy your way. That's why you see them buried with gold and jewelry.
Yeah.
I found that a bit preposterous. Are you kidding me? That's so from this earth, you will carry
and go the other side.
Go there. So I was able to make my own informed judgment based on learning.
Yeah.
But I still will not judge those that believe such.
What they believe.
That is what they do believe.
It's just important for Christians to have other conversations. In fact, it shows you why you believe what you believe.
Exactly.
If you don't have those conversations, I was in Kano one time and I had some really serious, deep conversations with some guys who did not believe in God.
Oh, well, I want to go home.
You understand? And now you carry this part of you want to bring somebody else.
Thank you so much for listening to us on Say My Piece today. It's been an amazing experience. We tell you that here We are a no judgment zone, and we are not forcing anybody's belief on you. This is just her saying her piece.
Yep.
So take it as it is, because the next time we're here, we will be saying another piece. Somebody else will be sitting on this chair saying their piece.
Forgive,
Bye.
Forgive and forget.
Ebola, forgive
Forgive and forget now. Oh yeah. Who sing that song that year?
I don't know.
Two Face.
All right, bye.